The Battle of Nola in 216 BCE is a significant episode in the Second Punic War. It marked a critical psychological and strategic turning point for the Roman Republic, not for its size or dramatic outcome, but because it was one of the first times following the catastrophic Roman defeat at Cannae that Roman forces, led by competent officers, successfully resisted Hannibal Barca's military brilliance. Although the battle did not result in a decisive Roman victory, it did help shift the momentum away from Rome's panicked state following Cannae. It also highlighted the emergence of Marcus Claudius Marcellus as one of Rome's most capable commanders in the fight against Hannibal. To fully understand the Battle of Nola, it must be placed within the larger context of the Second Punic War. Hannibal's dramatic crossing of the Alps in 218 BCE, followed by victories at Ticinus, Trebia, Trasimene, and finally Cannae in 216 BCE, left the Roman Republic reeling. The defeat at Cannae was particularly traumatic, with over 50,000 Roman soldiers killed and an entire consular army destroyed. Following Cannae, many of Rome's allies in southern Italy and beyond defected to Hannibal. The most notable was Capua, Italy's second-largest city, which pledged its support to Hannibal in exchange for promises of autonomy and prestige. Hannibal established his winter quarters there in late 216 BCE, using it as a base to consolidate his control over Campania and threaten neighboring regions such as Naples and Nola. Nola, situated in Campania between Naples and Avellino, was a strategically significant town. It was located on essential transit routes and served as a potential gateway to Roman territories further north. Hannibal's goal in targeting Nola was to persuade another major city to defect, further weakening Rome's alliances and isolating it politically and militarily. However, Nola remained officially loyal to Rome. The Roman Senate acted quickly, fully aware of the city's strategic importance and the population's shifting loyalties. They sent Marcus Claudius Marcellus to fortify Nola with a Roman garrison and prevent a defection. Marcellus arrived in Nola with approximately 6,000 soldiers, including legionaries and local auxiliaries. His challenge was twofold. First, to defend the city from external attack, and second, to manage the internal situation, in which some members of the local aristocracy were suspected of siding with Hannibal. Hannibal, aware that his success depended not only on battlefield victories, but also on shifting Italy's political landscape, marched from Capua with an estimated 20,000 men, including veteran African, Iberian, and Gallic infantry, and his elite Numidian cavalry. He intended to capture Nola or at the very least cause a defection from within the city. Skirmishes and psychological warfare marked the early stages of the conflict. Hannibal attempted to establish communication with factions within Nola, promising clemency and reward in exchange for betrayal. On the other hand, Marcellus foresaw this threat and had suspected collaborators arrested or executed, reinforcing Roman control. Marcellus, on the other hand, refused to be duped into an imprudent engagement. He recognized Hannibal's advantage in maneuver warfare and his numerical disadvantage. Instead, he maintained a defensive posture, fortifying the city walls and using limited skirmishing to test Hannibal's resolve. Hannibal eventually decided to launch a direct assault, hoping to either penetrate the city defenses or incite rebellion from within. He attacked the city from multiple directions, employing a mix of frontal infantry assaults and flanking cavalry movements. During the main engagement, Marcellus reportedly made a sudden and well-timed exit from the city. He had hidden several cohorts within the gates and released them when Hannibal's forces approached, taking the Carthaginians by surprise. After hours of fighting, Hannibal's forces were forced to retreat. Though neither side suffered many casualties, perhaps a few hundred on each, Marcellus successfully repelled Hannibal's attack and retained control of the city. It was the first time since Hannibal's arrival in Italy that Roman troops stood firm and drove him off the battlefield. The Roman Senate praised Marcellus for his leadership and resolve. Though no victory was awarded for the engagement, he received praise and a new command. Following the crushing defeat at Cannae, the defense of Nola became a symbol of Roman resilience. This more cautious approach exemplified the so-called Fabian strategy, later championed by Quintus Fabius Maximus, prioritizing delaying tactics, attrition, and resource denial over confrontation. Hannibal saw the failure to take Nola as a missed opportunity. His Italian campaign was heavily based on the defection of Roman allies and the psychological collapse of Roman morale. Hannibal suffered a significant setback when he failed to capture Nola. Hannibal attempted to attack Nola twice in the following years, in 215 BCE and 214 BCE, but each time failed. Marcellus repeatedly defended the city, earning the nickname the Sword of Rome, as opposed to Fabius Maximus, known as the Shield of Rome. The Battle of Nola may not be on the same scale as Cannae or Zama, but it is significant because of its symbolism and timing. It was a morale-boosting moment for the Romans, demonstrating that Hannibal was not unbeatable and that Rome's military machine could hold its own when properly led and applied. In retrospect, the Battle of Nola exemplified the war's evolution from open-field battles to a long-running conflict of fortresses, supply lines, sieges, and diplomacy. It also emphasized the value of capable leadership and the adaptability of Roman military thinking. The defense of Nola helped to ensure Hannibal's status as a mobile invader rather than a conqueror, capable of consolidating territorial gains in Italy. Despite his early successes, he was increasingly surrounded by Roman strongholds and pursued by cautious but resolute Roman forces. Thus, the Battle of Nola was more than a tactical skirmish. It marked a watershed moment in Roman morale and military adaptation. It exposed flaws in Hannibal's Italian campaign and paved the way for Rome's eventual resurgence.